and I'm gonna be the world's best friend. Gonna go around shaking everybody's hand, yeah. I'm just an old chunk of coal now, Lord, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday.
Everybody in the UP has a nickname. Anybody that's read my book, they know almost everyone has a nickname. And no one ever gave me a nickname in the UP. I was always Gene, and I've never liked Gene. I always thought it was a feminine name. And so one day I decided, I said, I want to be easy. I really don't know where it came from. I just thought that my lifestyle, the demeanor I have is very easy, very laid back. And so I was telling people, you know, why don't you start calling me Easy? And you can never give yourself a nickname. Only someone else can give you one. So after I had my stroke in Detroit, after my 6 months of chemo, my brother bought me a computer, and my right hand was paralyzed except for one finger. My arm was fine, but my hand was bad. My brother bought me a computer, and I wanted to go back home after my chemo, but I needed support, and I knew living 3 miles from nowhere I wouldn't get any at home. So I ended up staying in Detroit for 2 years. And when my brother bought me that computer, I told myself, I said, I'm just going to start writing about home, my town of Trout Falls, and just I'm going to call myself Easy, and I'm going to have a buddy named Pete, who is everybody's buddy, the guy you always wanted to be. My idea was that Easy was the perfect guy that does everything right, never takes chances, and Pete, I wanted a character that was the opposite of him, that everybody wants to be, the guy that says the funny thing, the guy who will do something reckless. And so I had this idea of this Pete guy, and I would just bounce the two off of each other, and without knowing it, I had created something, because everybody in Trout Falls started thinking, are they Pete? And I thought, everybody would ask me, am I Pete? And I would say, well, maybe. I wanted everybody in that town, every man that was a hunter, a fisherman, an outdoorsman, I wanted every one of those people to think that they might be Pete. And they'd buy the book. But I had no intentions of writing a book. All I did was sending emails to friends of mine who had a camp next to me, who were there from Flint. And I just decided to just talk about my hometown and what it was like. And you know, I was in Detroit in a lousy trailer court in the middle of nowhere, and it was the last place I wanted to be, and the only satisfaction I could really get was to sit down on that computer and write stories of my hometown. And it got me through those tough days. I learned to get movement back in my hand, and it buoyed my spirits so much that, you know, I got better and I felt better. And then my friends would say, hey, do you mind if I send this email to someone else? And I said, sure, go ahead. And then I started sending it to a couple more people, and before I know it, I had people that were waiting every morning for my next installation of Trout Falls Chronicles. And I said, I think I have something here, and I thought, well, if I can write 1,000 words a day for 30 days, I can have 30,000 words, and that's a small book. And that was my goal, and I did it. I had the book written for the most part within a couple months, but it took me 2 years to get it published. I mean, to finish the book, because I was so afraid to let it go. I didn't think I really had a lot of talent. I knew I had some talent, but I was afraid of criticism, but so many people kept saying they liked it, and I finally made the phone call about 2 years after I started the book, and I asked a printer in Trout Falls if I could get the manuscript to her and have her take a look at it. And I'll never forget that day when I finally took it to her and gave it to her. It was finally out of my hands, and it was done. I kept changing it so many times. I kept editing it and re-editing it, and a afraid to let it go, because I was afraid in some respects that the people in Trout Falls might be angry about some of the things I wrote, which never happened. I never had a problem. But once I let it go, then next day she called me and says, "I love your book," and that was it. And then I got it printed and got it out. And it was such good therapy for me. I had just suffered a terrible stroke, and I had leukemia, and it was just like I thought I was never going to get back home to Trout Falls, and that really bothered me. So I tried to write my way back into Trout Falls.
I'm gonna be the cotton picking rage of the age. I'm gonna be a diamond